Hey guys, and welcome back to another Cultured Boys episode. My name is Pepe, and of course, I'm joined by Nathan. And this week, we're going back to our Cultured Boys pitches.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't know the concept of pitches, we've done a few of these episodes before, but between myself and Nathan, we choose a handful of genres and different media outlets, and then we just basically have to pitch some kind of concept regarding those like random things we've
Yes,
put
yes,
together,
yes.
basically. And Nathan, what are we doing this week?
This week, we have been given the task of coming up with a superhero adventure magazine, to which we have changed
Yes.
magazine to comic, because let's face it, that's what that is. Oh,
Well,
I'm interested to see where you've gone.
yes. Shall I go ahead and pitch mine first? Like, should we just jump straight into this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Nathan, you've just said that you changed yours to a comic.
Yes.
However, I've quite literally kept the magazine aspect of our superhero
okay,
adventure.
okay.
So, my magazine for superheroes going for an adventure is called Shetgam.
Come again.
Shetgam, Shetgam, otherwise known as the Superhero Essential Tour Guide and Manual.
Okay. I don't.
So,
Okay.
Shetgam rolls off the tongue.
It sounds like you're saying shit game with an accent.
I mean, I never really made this thing to sound very good. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna say this early on, right? I hit a wall with these bunch of things, and I latched onto the one idea I came up with first, which is Shetgam. What is Shetgam, you might ask? So Shetgam is a tour essentials guide for superheroes when they need to kick back and relax. The magazine includes recommendations of superhero tourist hotspots, but is also a fun read for your average superhero who just wants to take this magazine, take on holiday, and have a break.
Okay.
So I've created a magazine for superheroes for them to relax.
Okay.
You might
Interesting.
wondering who comes up with a magazine like this. The editor of Shetgam is Tourist Man.
Oh god. So it's by superhero for superheroes by superheroes.
By superheroes.
Okay.
Yep. For a bit of context of Tourist Man, he has a 2-second backstory which I created. He was a superhero who's done with saving people and just wants to chill. And now he creates a magazine and gives recommendations about chilling.
So he just has neglected his responsibilities.
Yep. He's now an editor for a magazine. Think of what's his face from the Daily Bugle.
Jonah James.
Yeah.
For you.
Think him if he had superpowers before and was like, he's an obsessive Superman, Spider-Man anymore. He's just created his
not
own
have
thing here.
picked the most opposite to someone who wants to chill.
Exactly, but like change a few aspects of that guy. Anyway.
Especially because I just finished playing Spider-Man 2 recently. Jonah Jameson is the least chill man in existence. The whole game he's berating Spider-Man and everything he does and everything everyone else does and criticizes everything. And you just said, imagine Jameson, but he made a chill magazine about superheroes on holiday. He would criticize that to hell.
Imagine Jameson if he wasn't Jameson. Basically, what I've just done is think of an editor for a magazine is what I've just done. Anyway, so what does Tourist Man include in this magazine? Currently, I've only got like one issue, but it's kind of like a little bit of a sample of what would go into this magazine. For example, you might find articles about volcano hot tubs. For example, for the superhero who's overworked, you can enjoy a volcano hot tub experience. Lava will exfoliate your dry and crusty super skin, and it's an experience like no other. It's like a steam room and a hot tub mixed in one with boiling, scalding lava hitting your skin. But for superheroes, it's fine. Well, Not all
I
superheroes.
was gonna
Batman would probably
say,
die in it,
not
but
most.
yeah.
Like, what about
Yeah.
Iceman from X-Men? He would melt.
It ain't working for everyone. You choose the package that suits you here. You, for example, if you're scared of heights, you don't go like, I'm gonna go on a skydiving holiday. Like you pick your like superhero experience
No, if you're
like
scared of
based on
heights,
like
you
where.
go pick the volcano holiday.
Yeah, exactly that. You jump into a volcano and just never return.
Okay.
Bear in mind, like yeah. So that's one thing you might find. What else might you find in an issue of Shetgam? You might also find an article about the Fortress of Solitude and relaxation.
Okay.
Needs some quiet time from grouchy citizens who won't stop like goddamn whining about being saved. Well, why not try the Fortress of Solitude and Relaxation, where you can sit back, relax, and feel pampered in an experience like no other. Basically, Superman has sold his hideout and it is now a massive spa retreat.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's one of the another place you can find in the magazine.
Okay.
What else can you find in the magazine, I hear you ask? Need some space? Why not head up to the Shetgam sponsored space station, where you can find a range of anti gravitational sports and games to play with your other superhero friends and colleagues? How you get there, I don't know. Like, if you can fly into space, that's handy. Like, although I don't know whether you need the anti gravitational sports and games if you can really fly into space. So, take that as you will.
So there's not like a teleport or a shuttle bus or something like.
Shetgam does not like provide these things.
Man, Taurus Man is way too chill. Then he's like come up with the initial concepts, and he's sort of like, hey, you figure out the rest.
Again, this is just Shetgam sponsored, by the way. They didn't create this thing. Like it's just there. Like
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
it's like the same way that they all sponsor things. They're not creating them themselves. Taurus Man only does is best. He's only sending out the recommendations here and there. It's like an influencer that doesn't really provide anything else for people.
I see. I see.
What else? But for example, in Shetgam, it's not just about location. Sometimes you want to read the magazine in general. You just like there's like always those things at the back of the magazine, like what can I find there? So Shetgam also has a range of magazine activities. For example, invisible word searches.
Okay.
For those, if you want that extra challenge with your word search, it's now invisible. So, any superhero which has like, I don't know, some kind of super sight or some shit like that, like the words are there, you just got to find them, and it's going to be a lot more harder, basically.
Okay.
It's just a normal word search, but you have to use your powers for it, basically. Superhero trivia quizzes, just to be like, what is this superhero which died in 1968?
Well, I mean,
It'd probably be a bit more detailed than that. There's probably quite a few superheroes would have died around that
it
time.
would have, but it's also comics. So does it count as dying if you just came back?
Moving on, we have interviews with pioneers from the superhero relaxation industry as well.
Oh god, it's a whole
so for example,
industry?
yeah. I mean, you're not just gonna have the fucking space station up there with like people that they create. It's probably Bezos or someone that's created it. He's probably in this world of superheroes. Bezos is definitely a villain. But
I
they
was
won't
gonna
write
say.
about that in Shetgam. They don't write that. Shetgam is a very unbiased
Well, clearly, because they
publisher,
sponsored.
I think. Yeah. So they sponsored. Yes. As if Amazon needs sponsoring
know,
by
right?
other companies to create this thing. The volcano hot tubs and maybe the Fortress of Solitude and Relaxation might need a little bit of an extra push, though. Also, within Shetgam, you may find an agony aunt column where
Oh,
superheroes can write anonymously about their problems.
Okay.
Whether this be from what cream do I use down on that super rash, or how do I block out the noises from the countless citizens which I wasn't able to save from that comet. And that is Shetgam.
Okay.
It's basically a very loose concept of a magazine for superheroes by superheroes for tourist spots, for a lot of other things that they could just kick back and relax and read. There's a few things there for superheroes to unpack, and it's more for the superhero which is kind of done with their daily responsibilities of saving people.
I love that you have subverted my expectations.
In what way?
So, a little behind the scenes, we picked these, and immediately Pepe and I were like, "Oh, so it's basically a comic book." So I came to this expecting a comic.
Mhm.
But from the sounds of it, Shetgam probably has its own original, like, little comic strip in there somewhere, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably the
S
Beano, but Super
Yeah.
Beano.
Or, like, in America, they got, like, Marmaduke, but it's just
Yeah,
it's like Crypto the Superdog and friends.
yeah. Or it's like, Andy Cap, or whatever the fuck his name is, and it's now like, Andy Kryptonite or something.
But yeah, so I wasn't expecting any of this. Um, there I like it, clearly, because I mean, again, behind the scenes, unedited, there's probably now like 3 minutes of me straight laughing into the microphone on recording. Um,
Honestly, I was like, I don't know what to fucking do with this. I'm just going straight into the fucking randomness of it all. It's just gonna go. Shet Gab is
it, it worked. It worked again because there is just minutes of actual recorded footage of me laughing now. Um, I it is definitely random, and I wasn't expecting it.
hmm
It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing, especially because now I'm not scared that
Yeah.
we'll come up with anything similar. So,
Yeah. I, am very confident that you haven't come up to anything close to Shet
oh
Gab.
no, no,
So,
I did not.
yeah.
So that's good. That's always our
Yeah.
fear. We mention that every episode, the fear that
Yeah.
one day we'll come up with the same thing, but my god, we definitely come up with different things this time. Uh,
But yeah, we can break down the Chet Gab as well as your series after you pitched yours. Maybe let's analyze. Let's go through what you got, Nathan. I'm
okay,
I'm interested to see what you got.
so I have come up with an actual comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I've sent Pepe the only thing that I only ever create one piece of supplementary content
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So I've
Yeah.
sent Pepe the cover, and my series is called Heat Death, as
Mm-hmm.
in the heat death of the world.
Ah.
So we follow our main character, Tohil, named after the Mayan god of thunder, lightning, and sunrise. They're genetically modified. They are they them identifying. Uh, so very androgynous, and they have the power to manipulate solar radiation and super strength or durability. Just to
Mm-hmm.
contain said radiation. So the story will follow Tohil as they try to travel the world to figure out their origins. Why do they exist? Who created them? What is their purpose? Along the way, they awaken they'll awaken in a ruined lab with no life to be found. Everything's just in shambles. Everything is destroyed. They have no idea what's going on, and there's no obvious signs of what caused this. Obviously, from the title, we know it's the heat death of the world.
Mm-hmm.
As Tohil rummages through the ruins of the lab, they find only shreds of information. The name of the lab, Sulis, named after the sun god. An ID badge of a scientist, Gene Anden. Anden is the German word for modify. So, Gene
Mm-hmm.
Modify.
Yeah.
Gotta get them pun names in there. And part of the dossier for Project Sunrise. So, as they explore the remnants of the world, they'll learn to use their powers and learn about morality and the weight of their actions as they carry as a superpowered being in this apocalyptic world. Tohil will have to learn that whilst they're willing to help people, not everybody is doing it for the right reasons. So that's basically it. It's the adventure of discovering their purpose and also discovering what happened to the world.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I see. And it's like kind of like obviously there's like obviously not everything's as it seems kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
the
Well, because it's
okay,
apocalyptic,
yeah.
I took a whilst I was coming up with the concept, I took a lot of inspiration from sort of like Fist of the North Star
I see.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
apocalyptic and like traveling from place to place. You might find some good people that are like, hey, can you help us out? And it's to help the village. It's to help everybody who survived or managed to survive in that part.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, you might run into some other folks, not so savory people, who try to play on Tohill's innocence and naivete, and they're like, "Oh, this guy, he's a terror, he's a menace," and it turns out you probably just took out the good guy, and now you've helped a tyrant.
I see. So there's a lot of like conflicting emotions with
Yes,
Tohill as well as they go on
Tohill
their adventure.
Tohill is basically from birth genetically modified, has never experienced anything.
There's no like
Basically,
yeah.
yeah, so basically it's just a fresh person in this now fucked up world.
Okay, interesting. Like so, like in terms of personality wise, Tohill is very, like you said, genetically modified. Like personality. So was that transplanted from anyone or anything, or was it like
Uh, I imagine Tohill to be like a blank slate.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Like, whilst yes, they can talk, they speak
Mhm.
language, they can comprehend, they have everything. It's also kind of like the start of Mega Man X, where it's like X is capable of doing all these things, but their brain is
Mhm.
basically still processing and still like maturing. So X had a lot to learn over the like Mega Man X series. Tohill has the same thing. Tohill,
Okay,
for
yeah.
all intents and purposes, looks like an adult, sort of like young adult, but like has none of the life experience to be
Yeah.
able to make some of these decisions like logically or whatever.
And it's not like Tohill is like an emotionless, like kind
No.
of being. Like they have emotions,
Yes.
but it's just obviously because they're a blank slate.
They don't know what
It's
is
like
what.
it's like if you don't have any memories, kind of
Yeah,
thing, right? Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So Tohill
Okay.
has no reference, no frame of reference for anything. They don't know what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know the well, that anger feels like that love feels like this, that disappointment feels like
Mhm.
that. Like they don't have any frame of reference. They're experiencing everything for the first time. And what Tohill will eventually come to learn is their whole purpose was to actually be part of an array of these like modified beings to stop the solar flares from like crushing us and killing us. It was basically the Sulis's way of trying to stop the heat death of the world.
Okay. So is there like any other beings that are very much on like Tohill's level at all? Like
Tohil will probably discover one or two
mhm.
other people like them. And again,
Yeah.
much in like any story, they will fall somewhere on the morality scale. Some will probably gone full justice, realizing the weight of their actions after learning many things, and some might crush under the pressure of it all and realize that the only way to get anything done is for them to rule with an iron
I
fist.
see, I see. So is it like in terms of like any side characters, is there like kind of like a like not like accomplice, like a sidekick or something to Tohill? Like is there like a
Uh,
companion that like is actually like helps them through their journey? Or is there
I'd imagine Tohil will pick up a party. Like I
Mhm.
haven't
Okay, yeah.
designed any of these party members or whatever, but through their journeys, I imagine it'd be a rotating cast. Some people who stick around for a certain amount of time because they're with Tohill just till they get to, they just want Tohill to safely get them from A to B, this
Mm.
village to that village, this settlement to that settlement. They might help Tohill along the way. They might hinder Tohill along the way. They're just there for
Yeah,
that
okay.
stretch of time. Then there's other people who are in it for the long haul. The ones that sympathize with Tohill, the ones that really want to see Tohill grow and be a good person, a bad person, whatever. I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
basically like I always want this story to like be bringing up some sort of like questionable action, like because again with Tohill being a blank slate, they have to learn everything. So like
Mhm.
it doesn't always necessarily have to be like world ending choices where it's like, are you gonna hit the button and destroy this town or what? You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
but it's just like small things like, hey, this leader is he's not the nicest person, but like he's keeping everybody safe. They've got a decent life, but maybe they're not as free. you know, as they
Mm,
would like. They've got some gripes, but like overall, he's not doing that bad of a job. Do you do you free the people and let them like start fresh as a new society, or do you just get behind him and everybody has to
let's
fall sort of
see.
fall in line? Like what? It's those kind of things where it's like there's not really a good or a bad choice. Sometimes you have to just choose the lesser of two evils.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, interesting. How often would a chapter or issue of Heat Death come out? What do you reckon?
I'd imagine Heat Death would come out fortnightly, kind of every 2 weeks
Yeah,
ish,
1 to 2 weeks. Yeah.
because it,
Okay.
it would probably follow a. I would try to do a hybrid of an overarching like anime arc, but maybe
Yeah.
also like comic book style where it's maybe not separate arcs that create a whole series. It's like
Hmm.
that one big chunk of like like uh New 52 or something like that current version of the story of the world.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a cool concept. I would do.
This is what I
Is
was
it?
saying. Like we definitely have come up with two
It is
completely different.
very, very different to what I came up with. Yeah, I definitely couldn't see Hill using a copy of Shutgam.
I mean, by this point, Shotgun,
It,
there's nowhere to relax. Everything's gone. Like everybody's just trying to get by, man.
there could be an underground Shutgam
They could,
facility
or
somewhere. You never know.
Shotgun could just be the like this random thing they find from the past, and it's just like, oh, I kept this because it's comforting. Like
It's like it's like a Nuka Cola kind of
kind,
vibe.
yeah,
I
kind
kind
of.
of like it.
Like
Yeah.
in Fallout, like old comic books and stuff. It's just kind of like, oh, this is it's just something from the past that's a bit funny and relaxing. It's weird. I don't understand it, but it's just reminds me of a better time.
So, like, in terms of like other superheroes in that kind of thing, like, I don't think I kind of like ask you already, like, in terms of power levels, if there was anyone on the same level as Hill, but like, are there still like superheroes that survived that kind of
In this
heat death,
world,
or is it?
I imagined it was just Toho and the other genetically modified people
Yeah.
that are
Okay. Yeah. So
to.
any.
They all basically have the same power set, whether they develop different moves or whatever is like
I
based on
see.
their
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
experiences. How they use their manipulation of solar radiation is
Mm.
kind of up to
I
them.
see. I see. Yeah, I get you. So like, yeah, it isn't something that's like been established beforehand. That like
Yes.
these, like,
So
yeah,
there's not.
okay,
It's
sick,
not
sick.
like they also exist, but Superman's still fucking flying around or some shit.
Yeah, there's like an apocalyptic landscape, and Superman's like there, like, hey,
Yeah. Or
like what?
again, even though I took a inspiration from Fist of the North Star, it's not.
Mm,
It's not like, oh, oh, it's Tohill from this lab and all of their
hmm.
genetically modified, and then that lab's genetically modified, and now they're
Ah,
gonna,
yeah,
it's not like two schools of thought versus each other.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally just like, no,
It's all the one
this
lab.
one
Yeah,
lab created like fuck knows how many people. I haven't decided that, but
yeah.
yeah, they all sort of awakened at different times,
Interesting.
but Tohill was the last of them to awaken. So there
Okay.
won't be
Yeah,
any new ones afterwards for Tohill to be like, oh, I'm gonna teach you the ways. You know what I mean? Like Tohill
it's
is
all other ones
yeah,
that, yeah, like,
Tohill
yeah.
is basically the Kirby of this world. Is the newest of these fantastical
The
people,
curve.
but is the youngest and the least
Yeah.
mature.
The Kirby of this new world.
Basically, I mean that's what Kirby was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Like the newest of
Yeah, yeah,
the youngest, newest Star Warrior that was is an infant
yeah.
and has to
So
learn a lot
strange.
of stuff. So like it's kind of the same,
Basically, yeah, yeah, basically Kirby.
just less wholesome and less absorbing people. Um, is I did want to ask. So
Yeah.
Taurus Man is the editor, right?
Yes, yes.
Does that mean he employs other neglectful superheroes that are just like they his writers and whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because who else is writing these stories, or is
Yeah.
he just doing it all himself?
So, okay, so the concept what was behind it. I feel like he might have like one or two other people because you can't have a one-man publication
I mean, you
company.
can, but like,
He
it's
could
gonna
do.
like,
Depends what his superpower is actually, because he had a superpower which he gave up to write a freaking magazine.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I haven't established what his actual thing is. So I reckon he has a couple people employed.
okay,
I reckon he has who they are. I have absolutely no clue.
hey, it's not important.
Um, yeah, like, but he's the face of it. It's just, like it's the same that he's the one that's like come up with like I want this like this to be focus of the magazine today. I want this to be. Obviously, I think that there are definitely people like the agony aunt section, for example, isn't going to be Taurus Man responding to these questions.
Okay.
It's going to be some sort of like super agony aunt. You can just throw a super in front of anything, and it's pretty much a superhero at this point.
My power is to give advice. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. Just advice.
It's just advice. It's just a regular human being giving
Pretty
advice,
much, but it's like,
super.
yeah.
Yeah. Super advice woman. Like, honestly, like, I don't know what the advice power would be, but they're super about it.
I mean, why does it have to be a human? Why can it not be like super advice eagle?
Or a super advice AI. It's
Oh,
an agony
God.
AI. It's agony AI.
I feel like when you say agony AI, it should be the other way. Is the AI causing agony rather than
No, the AI's in agony is what's going on. Taurus Man runs a tight ship. He relies on this AI for quite a bit.
Fair enough.
I honestly, yeah. Whoever, like, I imagine the AI is coming up with that. Maybe Shetgam is the AI. Maybe Taurus Man is just like, maybe this is all AI generated, and Taurus Man is actually just AI now.
Wow.
That's the future. That's the future of the superhero world. It's AI. Everything's AI.
All right, Brainiac, calm down. Fucking hell.
It's called. It's a super AI. Has a cape on. It's a system with just a cape.
It's like a really old PC, from the
Yeah.
90s, like all yellowed, like casing and everything, just with a cape on it.
If any computer system was called Shetgam, it would be that yellowed PC with the fucking like the black and green binary code just
Yeah.
like popping up. Yeah, that's the Shetgam PC
With the dial up and everything.
Yeah, like the teletext kind of
Oh,
vibe.
God. Oh, man.
But no, in answer to your question, I imagine, yeah, Taurus Man probably does have a few staff employed.
I was
and
gonna
uses his
say, because
AI every now and then.
the only way he could do that all by himself is if he was like a speedster as well, like super speed.
Yeah,
Because how else are you gonna do that?
I don't think he has a super speed. I think
Either
this
that
is
or if
I
he like can multiply or something, like clone himself.
am not entirely sure what Taurus Man's powers were or is. Clearly, he's given up because it wasn't doing enough for him to actually be saving people anymore. He just wants to write his magazine now. That's
I
all he
mean,
wants to
that's do you think he'll ever write an article about why he's so neglectful? Like,
he always like like in most magazines you have like an editor's like thing on the front
yeah,
page. So he probably has like a little column every now and then that he writes about. What he writes about in there, I think maybe he'll be like, "Oh, this is what's coming up in this issue." I don't think he'd be
wow.
very open. I don't think he'd be very open about why he's
So
turned
he's
his
not even
life
gonna
around.
address like, oh, sorry, X town that I abandoned. I was your hero, but it's too much. I'm gone now. Bye.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna address that. It's just he just like silently retreated into his Taurus lair and decided to write up these articles. I imagine the first few issues of Shetgam was very small. Like it had like a few articles written by him, but then slowly but surely he built up this small Shetgam empire. Obviously, if he's sponsoring things, he's got to have money behind him now. Where he's got that money from, I have no fucking clue. It must magazine sales might be doing well.
I mean, I was gonna ask,
The Shetgam sales.
in what sort of time period do you imagine this Shetgam to exist and Taurus Man to have started this? Because if it's
Realistically, this is old media as well.
yeah,
So
I was
I
gonna
think the
say because
prime of old media would have been
if
like
it's
probably in
2023, then he's not. He might want to consider moving online.
he might get an app, Shetgam app.
I mean,
No, I
yeah.
think he's right now. Shetgam is a publication that is roughly in the mid 80s, maybe early 80s, I'd say.
That
Where it's
makes
like
sense.
like that kind of like obviously with the relaxation thing and
Yeah.
Superman, like Superman he was created in the 60s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Well, before that
Superman's
actually,
old.
and Superman's before that.
Superman's
I
old.
think Superman's
Yeah,
like
yeah. So
the 50s.
yeah, Superman's retired himself now. He's done. He's kind of like just like, but he's that's why he sold his Fortress of Solitude and sold it to become a spa because he's hung up the cape. He's done with life. He's in that volcano chilling.
Okay,
He's
fair.
getting that exfoliation thing. Like so he's
Fair, fair. Okay. That
yeah,
makes more sense
yeah.
then, because again, like,
Hmm.
if you're like, oh yeah, Taurus man started his fucking magazine in like 2020, but you,
It's a bad time to start a magazine.
well, one, it's a bad time, but also I'm like, this is a wrong decade to be starting a travel magazine. It
Yeah,
should,
nah, this
at,
is
at the very least, it should have been a travel blog, and even then,
yeah, no, it's a magazine. He's happy with the magazine. He's a fan of old media or Taurus man.
fair, fair.
So yeah, he's he's out here supporting that. I don't know how much he's selling this thing for either. This is the one thing. Like,
I mean, like, could he even sell it? I mean, the superheroes don't, besides some of them, most of them like don't really have money.
they must have some money.
Well, I
Like
mean, like, so
Bruce Wayne probably is able to afford a
yeah, I
copy of
mean Bruce
Shotgun.
Wayne obviously, but he isn't gonna need Shetgam. He can just fucking go to a place. He probably owns a bunch
He
of places he could just go to
he
relax.
probably owns a space station. To be honest,
Well, technically, well, I mean, the Justice League do.
yeah, but Justice League are like they're all washed up now.
Uh,
This is more maybe the magazine for retired superheroes. I think is the
Okay,
best
well
way
then
for this kind of.
I don't know how much of a market he's got, because a lot of the current superheroes, I don't think they've ever retired.
No, not out of choice anyway.
And I mean, like,
Like any of the old boys, like all the old people, like old people buy magazines, isn't it?
yeah, that's true. But again,
Yeah,
like,
so
I guess it depends on what version of, like, I guess the golden age versions of
yeah,
heroes are probably retired, because by this point
yeah.
they were born.
That's why we've got the invisible crosswords and stuff in that there, like so they could have a little game kind of thing.
Fucking invisible crosswords, Jesus. What's next? Also invisible Sudoku.
Patent pending.
Oh god, can't wait for
Yeah.
the invisible word search. Fucking hell.
It's just it's just squares. It's just a bunch of squares. On
Well,
a
do you know what the confusing thing would be? If you're an old superhero and it's the invisible word search next to the invisible Sudoku, which is which?
It's- well, one's gonna be a really fucking easy word search if it's just the fucking square. Oh fuck me!
Like, if you're
Right.
if you're an old retired hero, you haven't activated your like supervision or whatever, and you're just like writing in these boxes like, "Oh, this was really easy. Why are there two Sudokus in this issue?"
I mean, one's numbers, one's letters. They can figure it out. I'm sure. If they're able to save people, they can freaking get right. Is there anything else that you have to ask about Shetgam, Nathan? At
No,
all?
I don't. I feel like I've learned everything I can about Shetgam. I can't.
No, I think I'm still learning bits and pieces about Shetgam myself. So
I
that's
can't
the
wait
thing.
for the first issue.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it's been out for God knows how long. Shetgam's been around for. Like, it's
Oh, well
probably
then, if you got your hands on the first issue, it might be a collector's item,
yeah.
like Action Comics 1.
What's he writing about in issue 1?
I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, oh my god, I got PSA 10 Shetgam issue 1.
Mans and fucking Peckham in an underground lair or something. That's your tourist spot.
Oh,
Check
wow.
out. We had to start off somewhere. Right, in which case, I think that pretty much brings an end to the episode.
Oh my god. What an episode.
What was your favorite magazine / comic book? Like, tell us in the comments what you preferred, or if you have a concept of a superhero adventure magazine / comic book. We'd love to hear it. And as always, remember to comment, like, subscribe. Hit that bell button. There's videos out for Cultured Boys every Sunday. And you can find us on podcast platforms. The links are in the description. You can also find us on Twitter /X. That's in the description as well. And we'll catch you next time, guys, for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.